I'm Jessica.
And I'm Jessica, and together we are the Wine Mouths.
Welcome back to our series, What's in the Bag? We are on to our fifth wine
My goodness.
out of 6 for North Carolina Wine Month. So we are drinking our way through North Carolina and we are almost to the end, but our fifth wine is what we're going to talk about today. Woo. And that is the Childress Cabernet Franc.
All right, this is my favorite part. Gosh, it's got that beautiful, like deep brick red color, kind of
Indicator that it's been in barrel for a while. I want to dive right in, but let's talk about Childress first.
All right. Yes. So Childress was established in 2004 by none other than Richard Childress of NASCAR racing fame, which you might think that that's a little incongruous, NASCAR racing and fine wines, but it actually works really well for them.
There are a lot of race car drivers that have wineries.
Yeah, and a lot of racing fans that drink wine. So here we are. And Childress does put out some sweeter, also some muscadines, but they also do a great job with dry reds and dry whites, like this Cabernet Franc that we're about to try.
Yeah. And Childress is located in Lexington, and it is in the Yadkin Valley AVA. So the Yadkin Valley AVA stretches really far beyond just Yadkin County, so it even encompasses Lexington.
Yeah, all the way down there.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Richard Childress's winery, Childress, has a lot of acres, I think around 70 or 80 acres, something like that. A big place with a restaurant, and you can make a whole day of it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So their tasting room is great, and yeah, like Jesse was saying, they've got a restaurant on site, so if you didn't pack a picnic that day, then you might want to make reservations, but they have a restaurant available. Great wine tasting, great whole experience. It's just wonderful. So,
all right, we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right, I'm getting a lot of fruit notes just from the nose. Got cherry, raspberries. But some of the oaks begin through too.
Yeah, a little spicy almost. Pepper, clove.
Yeah, I cheated. I already had a sip just now. Definitely like the red fruit.
Yeah. Good tannin, very balanced.
I think it's really more fruity than like oaky and earthy to me, but it's great. It is balanced and has a good mouthfeel and body.
Yeah, for sure fruit. But also the structure of something that you can tell has been in an oak barrel for a while.
It's nice, I like it. So a few videos back we talked about Cabernet Franc already, so today we're going to take a different approach, and instead of talking about Cabernet Franc, the grape, and how it's grown and produced, we're going to back a step up and just talk about how red wine is made.
So if you're curious about Cabernet Franc, go back and watch part 3.
Yeah, it'll be linked here. How does YouTube work? I'll put it in a box up here.
But we love Cabernet Franc, so it's only fitting that there were 2 of them in our selection.
Absolutely.
But red wine!
Yay!
How is it red?
I don't know. Actually, just kidding. We do know. So, all grape juice, whether it comes from red grapes or white grapes, is clear. But the way that red wine gets its color is that it's produced with the skins. And so it gets contact with the skins and gets the color from that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of red wine 101, but we're going to
dive a little deeper
dive right there. Yeah. So, first of all, you might want to know when to harvest your grapes.
There's 2 big indicators you want to think about when you're looking at the grapes and trying to figure out when to harvest. The first is a measurement called Brix, and Brix is the amount of sugar that is in the grape berry. So you can actually squeeze a grape berry, get some of the juice out, and determine how much sugar is in there. and that will equate to, at the end of the day, how much alcohol you're going to get out of your wine. So you want to make sure that there's enough sugar in there to produce a table wine, you know, around 12% alcohol or something.
Right. Which is why it's a big deal during harvest to make sure your grapes can get the amount of sugar and stay on the vine long enough to get to the amount of sugar level that you want.
But you need a lot of sun for that. The second measurement is pH. And so pH, as you probably remember from elementary school, is the amount of acid. Wine is very acidic, so 7 is
Right
neutral.
In the middle. Yep. Like water.
Yes, and wine is usually around 3, 3.5. So you'll want to check that with your grapes. As they get riper, the pH actually increases. So you have to make sure to pick them while the pH is still low and the sugar is high.
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors at play when you're trying to decide when to harvest, and then I think it's like a split-second decision almost. Like, okay, well, today's the day, gotta get out there.
Yeah,
it's time.
So you get all your grapes, and you take them back to the winery, and you put them through a machine that is called a destemmer, and it's going to pull all the grape berries off of their rachis.
So what's a rachis?
So the rachis is the skeleton of the stem that holds all the berries on. So you're pulling all the berries off of the rachis in this machine. And yes, it's odd, but the grapes are actually called berries in the winemaking vernacular.
Yeah, so the more you know. You'll sound like a true insider when you call them berries.
Yeah. So at the end of that machine, you get spit out a bin of grapes and juice and seeds and skins.
And probably some worms and other insects that have been hanging out on the grapes, but
That's okay.
Because, yeah, it doesn't have to be super clean to produce a great end product.
Yeah, not the berries, not the grapes at least.
No.
So you have all that, and then you can kick off fermentation.
So fermentation is kicked off by adding yeast to the grape juice and everything. And yeast is this tiny little creature that lives off of sugar. So it eats the sugar and poops out alcohol and carbon dioxide and heat and all this other stuff. But the part that we're interested in is the alcohol.
Yes.
So it does that. It takes all the sugar in the grape juice and converts it to alcohol, and then eventually the yeast dies.
How sad.
I know, but it's done its job.
It's done its job. It's lived a good life. Made a lot of sugar.
Moment of silence for yeast.
So through that process, it takes a little while, usually a couple weeks, maybe a little less, give or take. But as it's in its bin or tank, the seeds and skins rise up to the top and kind of clump together like a big iceberg. And throughout the process, you have to either mash it down and mix it all back up or pump some juice back on top of it, because you don't want it just to sit there and collect heat. And
no, because that makes it ripe for some funk to develop.
Yeah, fruit flies will get in it and start to produce some vinegar and bad stuff. So through the fermentation process, you have to continually watch it and mix it all back together and keep it going.
And taste test, important job.
Yes.
All right, so you've mixed the cap down, and what are you going to do next?
So fermentation's done, and then you take that and you pour it into a press. And a press normally is this big bladder contraption. You pour it in and a bladder expands and it squeezes all the juice out from the skins and the must. And must is just the combination of juice, skins, and seeds that you have that's fermenting for red wine. So you put the must in the press and you get juice at the end.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's not really juice. You have wine.
Yeah.
Wine comes out.
Yeah. It's magic.
It's wonderful.
But it's not quite ready to drink yet. So at that point, you're going to, depending on what kind of end product you're looking for, you're going to put it in barrels, so oak barrels, stainless, however you decide you need to age it. And then you're just going to let it sit and let time do its work.
Yeah. That's the beauty of red wine. It has more time than white, and so it's aged, usually why it's more expensive, and it mellows out, and everything you've gotten from the skins and the seeds, like the tannins and the anthocyanins and all that, get to stabilize and kind of stay in solution and create a product that's going to last.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so this Cabernet Franc was done in oak barrels, for example, and it, just helps impart some other additional flavors and characteristics to the wine, and creates a nice, full, well-rounded product that we are enjoying drinking.
And we just love Childress
Mm-hmm.
and their red wine, and most specifically this Cabernet Franc.
Yeah.
So good. So
And yes, that is wonderful.
yay, Childress!
Yay, Childress! We'll be racing to our local wine shop to pick up more.
Oh, that's another good point. Is that Childress, for you local North Carolinians, is also available in most grocery stores.
Yes.
So if you are looking for a North Carolina wine, you can probably get Childress at your grocery store.
Mm-hmm. And this Cabernet Franc is amazing. And don't forget, embrace your wine mouth.